Take Springfield's morning news with Greg Bishop everywhere with the free WMAY mobile app. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
So Thursday, we talked about the U.S. Census numbers that we expected to come out, and after the show Thursday, those numbers dropped. But when we were talking about it, kind of previewing what to expect, we discussed what Democrats in Illinois seem to want to refuse, and that's that Illinois' population continues to shrink. We lost a seat in Congress because of population decline, but you still had Democrats, including Governor J.B. Pritzker and U.S. Senator Dick Durbin, saying that Illinois is growing. That's not the indication we got from the U.S. Census in their latest report they released Thursday, just before the holiday. Now, the census says that growth in the U.S. shows early indication of recovery amid the COVID-19 pandemic. And overall, the United States grew by about 0.4% to 333.3 million people. So growth across the country. But if you look at even some of the things that they unpack, top 10 most populous states, Illinois is still sixth behind Pennsylvania. But you look at some of the other numbers, and the largest growth was Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona. Illinois not on that list. Why? Because Illinois is one of around 11 states, actually, that I counted up, that lost population. And we were the third state to lose population to the tune of 104,000. Now, that's the numerical change, and that's not the net change. And the net change, if you look at Illinois, and I broke the spreadsheet out here, and you could follow along if you look at us on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, you can see here the actual raw data, and it shows that the estimations, we lost a good chunk of people, but then you go into the net change, and the net change is 110,127 people. I talked with Ted Dabrowski about this, and he said ultimately this is just more bad news for Illinois.
Governor Pritzker could try to deny it, but Illinois continues to shrink in population. The new census data for 2022 shows that Illinois shrunk another 104,000. That's on top of the 114,000 from last year. So in total, it's almost 230,000. Not good numbers for the state, and a continued rejection of the policies that we've seen from here. And it's important to note that our neighboring states, with the exception of Michigan, they all grew. They grew in population. So it's not a Midwest problem. It's an Illinois problem. We're the third worst in the country in total population loss, and when you look at it in percentage terms, second worst.
Now, it's not just these annual estimates from the U.S. Census. There's other indications from IRS migration data, moving companies, and so on.
Yes, so the big problem for Illinois is that it continues to lose people to other states, and the U.S. Census picks that up. We lost 140,000 net people to other states. 140,000. Now, that was made up a little bit because we had international immigration. That was up 30,000 or positive 30,000. So that takes that 140 to 110. And then we gained 5,000 net people from the difference between births and deaths. So when you add up that domestic migration, the international migration, and births minus deaths, we end up with 104,000 loss. The big driver being people just leaving this state for other states.
Now, another number that the U.S. Census released earlier this month dealt with the poverty rate, and it showed that Illinois' poverty rate is increasing. Again, Ted Dabrowski with Wire Points.
Well, we've certainly seen that in the IRS numbers. The IRS numbers tell us that we're losing some of our we're losing everybody across every income sector, but we're certainly losing our biggest earners. And of course, when you remove a person like Ken Griffin, that really moves the numbers. We haven't seen those numbers yet. We're losing our high earners. We're putting more and more people. We recently reported on that. We're putting more and more people on food stamps, more people on Medicaid. So we're creating more dependency, and creating less jobs. And that combination is a disaster, which is one of the reasons which is why people will just leave the state.
So fewer people taking on more of a tax burden as the poverty rate increases, and another 104,000 left Illinois, 110,000 net loss. It's a spiral of sorts.
From the Fly SPI studios, take the easy way out.